Hey everybody, Dale Way here. Uh, Gonna do a little song for you that I wrote many years ago called "Calvary's the Reason Why." And before I do it, I want to tell you what caused me to write it. I was John Osteen, the father of Joel Osteen, was just a dear friend of mine, a mentor to me, and I respected him so very much. He's just an incredible man, and he had called me one day here in Kerrville and said, "Hey Dale, next time you're in Houston, give me a call." And so I was staying at a friend my of mine's house, Hardy and Marianne, and and so I called him when I got to Houston, and his secretary answered, and she was different. I knew her, and she knew me. She was different. She seemed, and maybe I misread her, but she seemed a bit abrupt. And I said, "Hey, so and so." I'm not going to name her name. It doesn't matter. Uh, this is Dale Way. I'm calling for Brother O. That's what I called him, Brother O. And he's not here, Dale. And I said, "Okay." Well, he told me to call him when I got to town, so I'm just doing what he asked me to do. You know, I want to make perfectly clear that I wasn't just calling John Osteen out of the blue. And so I never heard back from him. Gave him my number and all that. That was when we were just on landlines, and so I called back the next day because secretaries sometimes misplace things. I mean, stuff happened. And it was basically the same thing. She was still seemed, I don't know, it's probably me. I was probably self-conscious. But I said, "This Dale Way calling for Brother Osteen again." "He's not here, Dale." And for some reason, she never gave me an explanation as to why he wasn't there. And it's probably so I'd write this song. But, and so me being, persistent, the third day came and I called, and again, the same thing. Well, now I'm getting paranoid, because I'm thinking, what have I done to offend Brother Osteen? What have I done? Have I done something? Have I said something? And I rehearsed in my mind. I went back, and there was nothing I could have said or done. But I was still questioning myself on it, and I was getting very, very discouraged. Very discouraged. And so Thursday came, I called again, and same basic thing. Well, then Friday, I'm about to leave Hardy and Marianne's house, and the phone rings. And on the other end, those of you that knew Brother Osteen will understand this. On the other end was John Osteen, and he said, "Dale, Brother Osteen here." He had kind of a, I don't know, he had a distinct sound. I said, "Hey, Brother O," and he says to me, he says, "I've got your notes here that you've called me, and so as soon as I got back in the country, I wanted to call you. I've been over in India, and I just got back in, but I wanted to make sure I gave you a call." And I said, "Oh, okay, Brother Osteen, yeah." And I talked to him. We had our talk. It was a great talk. He just talked to me about something that he was going to do or whatever. And so I went into the bedroom of my friends that I stayed at their house. And let me sing you. I'll sing you the chorus first, because this is how it came to me first. After my conversation with Brother O, my heart was so relieved that he wasn't mad at me, and that I hadn't done anything to offend him, and that he still loved me, that I went back and I sat on the edge of the bed that I slept in at that house. Nobody else was there but me. And I began to praise and worship my God and thank him, because I had him in such high regard and high respect that it would have broken my heart. It did break my heart for a short time, thinking I disappointed him. And I remember I said to the Lord, I said, that's why I said, sometimes I just want to praise you. And I said to the Lord, and I'm crying the whole time, sometimes just to speak your name. Sometimes I just want to thank you without asking you for a thing. And it was all innocent. I was just worshiping God. And then I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, and I realized, crud, that rhymed. Wait, excuse me a minute, God. And so I started writing it down. I ended up writing the song. I was able to tell Brother Osteen the story behind this song before he passed away. And but I wrote it because of that. Because how good God was to me that day. And you know what? Wherever you're at and whatever you're going through, you may be down like I was. You may be down and out. Uh, you may feel like you've done something wrong, and maybe God's mad at you, and you have no redemption coming your way. I'm here to tell you that God's there for you. He hadn't left you. He's not mad at you. He's right there with you. And maybe He's letting you go through this dry spell for a little bit so you can prove your faith to yourself. But I wrote this song out of one of those dark moments that turned to light all of a sudden. And so after I wrote the chorus, I sat down and I began to write the verses to it. So here it is. So forgive me for my amazing guitar playing, but this is as good as it's going to get. I was lost, but you knew where to find me. I was hungry, you were bread for my soul. I was thirsty, and you gave living water. You were my shelter when I had no place to go. Then I wrote this chorus. That's why sometimes I just want to praise you. Yes, sometimes just to speak your name. Sometimes I want to thank you without asking you for a thing. Oh, sometimes I lift my hands to you. Then sometimes all I do is cry. Everything that I have, I owe to you. Lord, and Calvary's the reason why. Then I wrote this verse. When I think of the love that you've given, Lord, when I think of the price you paid for me, then all the trials here on earth, they seem like nothing when they're compared to dark Calvary. Think about it. That's why sometimes I just want to praise you. Oh, sometimes just to speak your name. Sometimes I want to thank you without asking you for a thing. Oh, sometimes I lift my hands to you. Then sometimes all I do is cry. Everything that I have, I owe to you. Lord, and Calvary's the reason why. Everything that I have, I owe to you. Lord, and Calvary's the reason why. thank God for Calvary.